let's close it out with this. It's Thursday. We got a little bit less than 8 days until the trade deadline. Friday, March 7th. It is 3:30. The Flyers did nothing. How do you feel?
Like zero moves at all.
No more trades. That's it.
No more trades.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little annoyed. I think you just need to do something. I think there's just too much. Moving out Frost and Farabee isn't necessarily moving out the guys who are the most tradable, right? Like those two, Farabee and Frost could stay to the end of the season. There would have been no issues with that. I don't think anyone would bat an eye. But you're looking at guys like Laughton. You're looking at guys like even if you wanted to trade Garnet Hathaway, if some team came over the top for a Garnet Hathaway, which I could see happening, or moving out even some picks, right? Trying to take one of these picks and find a guy who's maybe a pending RFA or maybe somebody who needs a change of scenery and trying to make a move there. I think I want to see something happen. I think the Laughton trade, it's important to happen to really. This is tough for me. It
is tough
because you could not do anything, and then in the future, if you just trade Laughton at the draft or trade Risto at the draft, then who cares?
Yeah, but would that be putting too much pressure on the offseason? Like, I mean, fans are going to go nuts if they don't make any more moves. Online fans, that subsection of the fan base will be going crazy. But
yeah, but they've been going nuts for how many years now? Like, they're still going nuts now. It doesn't matter at that point. This is the thing. I'm just not sure if there's going to be a trade that arises that's worth enough to deal Laughton or Risto, and I don't know who else is going to go. Like, there could be other guys who go that we haven't talked about yet. You know, there's 100% chance that happens, but shit, I don't know who is it going to be. I can't see it right now, and especially at the deadline with it to, you know.
Eric was just in the chat saying could keep Risto trade Sealer. I mean, maybe.
Again, what do you get for Nick Sealer? This is the thing. You know, I think all these guys seem to – I think the problem with what we've been talking about leading up to this trade deadline is all of these guys have more value to the Flyers than to other teams. Nick Sealer 100% does. They really like Nick Sealer. That's why he's been extended. Scott Laughton, I think, has more value to the Flyers as it stands right now than pretty much anybody else, maybe bar the Leafs or another Canadian team as they get closer and get pushed into the deadline, right? And they're under pressure to make a move to improve, right? And Risto, I think still, I think that reigns true with him as well too, because he has been reformed by Bradshaw and Torts, and he's been injured. So I don't know if he's necessarily going to have the value that he did maybe leading into December, where he started off hot and had a good start to the year. It's going to be weird because I don't know if the right move's going to – I think you can definitely make a move. It's 100% going to be easy to make a move. I just think it's going to be difficult to make a move that's worth making one.
Yeah, I would love to see the Flyers use a second-round pick, go get some center that you need to change the scenery. Yeah. But then who are you scratching? Who are you sending down? The Flyers would then have to send a player out as well. Like, that's like, you look at the four lines right now, no one's going to the AHL. I don't think Pelletier would have to clear waivers. They're not sending him down. Yeah. They're posting pictures of him like every day at practice. I'm not sure if they're trying to make him some sort of new face of the franchise or what, but like, the Flyers seem to have their 12 forwards right now. They have their 6-7 defensemen. Like, it's,
you have to take out from the team before you really start getting guys in. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where it leads to maybe a bigger Risto trade or a bigger Laughton trade. But I think it's really tempting to just say Laughton, second rounder, don't overthink it, just get him out. But I don't know.
I think
don't know. If that doesn't, okay, so I'll throw a question back at you. If it's either no moves or Laughton for a second round pick and no other moves. What would you rather the Flyers do?
No moves.
Nothing.
No moves. Yeah, because then that's seeing Briere come down on his price. That's not good for future negotiations.
Yeah.
I was going to say my prediction is Laughton for a first and David Kempf. Like you're gonna have to take back that contract. It's gonna suck. Maybe you can flip him before the deadline or in the offseason, but to get that first round pick, they'll take back a contract just like they did with Ryan Johansson.
Then at that point, if that does happen, I think at that point I need to see them trade at least 2 picks.
It can't be just that, or before the draft.
No, before the draft. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Dominoes down the line. Yeah, but no, that trade I have no issue with that happening. That makes sense to me. I think that might make sense for both sides.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right. But I don't think it makes or breaks my feelings on the deadline necessarily.
Yeah.
Either.
Yeah. Would you rather have Fraser Minten or the first round pick in 2026?
I like Minten. I do like Minten. I think the Flyers would end up drafting somebody a lot similar to Fraser Minten if they got their way and they got a late first rounder in this draft. So I like Minten. I would probably prefer Minten at this point in time, especially since you have the later picks already. Like if you have a guy you're targeting in the late first.
It would be next year's draft. So when they
don't 2026. Yeah. Yes. Again, the Leafs are going to be good next year. It's not going to be a huge asset. Yeah, I think I'd rather have Minten still. I like Minten. I know there's probably some people out there. I think Thomas doesn't like Minten. I think Thomas is a Minten hater. But I think he brings you more stability, and I like the backbone of Minten, potential backbone of Minten, Luchenko, Cates. Like if those 3 are 3 centers up the middle,
mm-hmm.
and they can kind of be interchangeable as 2, 3, 4. And even if you have to play one as the 1C, I think that's okay. Just whoever turns out best. I mean, Jet could potentially be that, right? But I think Minten's a guy who can just play the Scott Laughton role at bare minimum, play the Scott Laughton role for an extended period in the future. So I like Fraser Minten. I think you can mold him into something that's a solid NHL player for a very long time. Nothing flashy, but I think he'll be a good player. I'm still, as you said before, I'm still surprised the Leafs didn't get him into the roster. Get him into the roster.
It doesn't make sense. Be like, all right, can this guy that we might trade do what we're going to trade for? But I guess they value the experience, the whatever. They in the room.
Yeah, and I'd assume Berube also.
Oh yeah, Berube loves Laughton, so they're trading Laughton to the Leafs. Yeah, that's just.
It seems like it makes sense. He seems also like a Brad Treliving guy too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back in Calgary, that's the type of guy who was always in the second, third line roles in Calgary. So it makes sense. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, because then you bring Minten in, he just takes Laughton's place on the roster. You have 4 decent centers, especially.
And maybe you push him up a little bit and see what he can do for the rest of the year, right? I would like. See that.
Put him in Laughton's spot right now. Put him with Kuzmenko and Konechny. See what he can do. Or shuffle it around a little bit.
Not like anybody else in the AHL is banging down the door. So
no. But yeah, if they get the first round pick next year, maybe that opens up the chance for an offer sheet more so. But I don't think the Flyers are going to offer sheet. I think if anything, they'll work out a trade for Marco Rossi, Wyatt Johnston, maybe one of the Ducks non-Zegras centers. If they could somehow get McTavish or Carlson, that would be crazy. Maybe a Shane Pinto, like someone like that.
They're not going to trade Carlson.
They're not trading Carlson.
No.
They should not. No way.
No. And who's Wyatt Johnson? If they get Wyatt Johnson, I would
go insane.
Expletive.
Yeah.
Sexual content warning.
It would be quite the live stream if there was a
I'd be sure it was.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. I think it's a bigger move. I'm now pivoting to I want to see that big move. I think they have enough pieces to make a splash. For somebody young. I want to get somebody young, but I think you're starting the Mishkov coming over kind of accelerated the timeline a bit.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's next year that you have to compete, but I think the year after that, there's definitely, an expectation. I personally have an expectation that you're going to have a good hockey team. Samuel Ersson, as long as he doesn't get hurt, knock on wood, or fall off a cliff. I think if you do like a Washington thing where you have a Lindgren and you have Logan Thompson and you have Ersson being the Logan Thompson to another decent older goaltender in the future, or say, one of your younger options comes up and you can just have him as a Bragan or Ivan Fedotov figures it out somehow they teach him how to play goalie in the offseason or something. But
is Bjarnason turning pro next year, or does he have one more?
I think he is. I think he is. I'd have to look. But yeah,
they're not going to rush him, obviously. But like,
no.
Yeah,
and he doesn't really have there's not a ton of space for him anyways, right? As a goalie, but I think regardless, I think there's you can make there's a path to make a move that's a real splash for a center, for a guy who can get another lease on life in Philly and try to really become a first or second line top 6 option.
Yeah, I think that has to happen this summer. It has to. They have to get someone that can play top 6 minutes.
I want it before the draft, personally.
I could see it happening at the draft. Whatever, like it doesn't really matter
at the draft. Sure,
whatever. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you have
during the third round is fine.
Yeah, and then you have Luchenko coming in playing middle 6 minutes. You got Cates playing middle 6 minutes. You got whoever they get playing top 6 minutes, and you have Paling or Coots playing. Who do you think is going to move to wing next year with Cates, Couturier, Luchenko, Paling, and unnamed top 6 center? I guess Paling?
Probably just Paling, yeah, right? Probably just Paling. I'm interested in the Sean Couturier defensive winger net front presence arc. I might have to get a story going on that one. I might have to get a story going on that one. And just to his second, we just got to teach him how to fight. If he lets me take over his PR, he will be a Flyers legend again in like a year and a half. He's just got to fight badly,
grow out the beard, battle,
huge beard, stand in front of the net with your elbows like this always. Get like some really big gloves.
Yeah, get the Garth Snow shoulder pads in there.
Yeah. No, So I think it would be Paling though. That makes the most sense. He's probably fits better as a speedy winger, anyways. And Coots is bottom 6 center or middle 6 center is good with me.
Yeah.